I came to Gaza through Beit Mal, which is a nonprofit organization that's based in the United States. And I've come for 3 weeks, and I am just now in the last few days of my being here. There has been an incredible lack of supplies, resources, food, everything needed, beds for the people that are taken care of in Nasser hospital, but also in the rest of the Gaza Strip. So we have a lot of casualties, we have a lot of complications because of the situation here, and there aren't enough beds. Even in maternity, there aren't enough beds. So every decision made to take care of a woman and her pregnancy, or a child that comes in, or anybody affected by the war, by shrapnel, by malnutrition, we have to decide, do we have enough beds? How do we take care of people? So it affects every single thing that happens in the hospital. I have seen so much malnutrition here. I've seen it in the pregnancies that we see. I've seen it in the babies that come out. I've seen it walking through the emergency room with the kids and the men and women. So I see it everywhere. I see it in the staff who every day talk about how hungry they are. And they still, again, show up for work. It's amazing. So we see complications in infection rates, right? If you don't have enough nutrition, you cannot fight off infections. Because of the situation in the Gaza Strip, because of how people are herded into camps and evacuated, the conditions for sanitation are lower. So they already come in maybe with an infection, and then if they're not fed and they can't find food and are starved, they can't fight the infection. So we see this. We see this in pregnant women who have trauma, who have shrapnel, who have burns. They're pregnant, but they also have all these burns and wounds and injuries. How are they, in their malnourished state, supposed to not only sustain the pregnancy, but also fight off the wound and infections and the surgeries that need to happen? I want to just talk particularly about a case that we saw a few days ago, and it was a 22-year-old woman who was sleeping at night with her 3-year-old and her husband in their tent where they had been evacuated to, and under siege and starvation. And she also happens to be 6 months pregnant. And a bomb went off near them. She had explosive injuries. She had explosive injuries to her face, and she lost her eye. She had explosive injuries to her legs with burns, and she has trauma to both of those, and also shrapnel into her abdomen that didn't hit the uterus and the baby, but she had to have a big surgery. So now she has to also recover from her wounds. She needed to have extensive surgery. She has burns, and on top of that, she has to heal her own body, but she also has to take care of this pregnancy that's 6 months old. So imagine the stress on her. Her husband unfortunately died, and her 3-year-old also ended up with wounds in the hospital. So all this stress, all this trauma, I can't imagine, not only for this family what they're going through, but every single person who's here in the Gaza Strip who has to deal with this.
That's unbelievable.